You are that. You are
exactly that. Don't get me wrong. At the very beginning of the relationship, there was a very strong sense of jealousy.
Of course.
Like, that's just going to be there right there off the bat. But then it came to the ideal of, at the end of the day, we're coming home to each other. There's still...
Are you going to do it?
Nah, I ain't got it.
Oh, come on.
Sorry.
Okay.
I would if I could.
All right.
You got it. Come on.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the BeeHole Podcast. Today, I am your host, and today we have my co-host over here.
Hey, you finally made it, part 2. Que paso, vatos? It's Vato Justin back with the BeeHole Podcast. Don't be a hole, be a motherfucking beehole.
And we also have a reoccurring guest with a new guest over here across from me.
I is Daniel, or Goose, whatever the fuck you want to call me.
And if you want to introduce
And then
yourself?
to my right, I have one of my lovely partners and primary partner is Key.
Ooh, yeah.
All right. So,
Oh, you want... Yeah, just aim it right there.
one of the biggest things is this
Fix
poly
the cord.
relationship has been interesting to say the least. But
So if those that are interested,
I'm about to say, you guys got to start scrolling.
Let me fix this real quick. But
so I say one of my partners and my primary partner because Key and I are in an open and polyamorous relationship. So it's a little bit of a different relationship than your typical monogamous relationship where it's just two people sharing a relationship or being together.
Yep.
We are open and we are poly. So there are two different kinds of things going on here. Polyamorous is the ideal of having, or the idea and the execution of having multiple partners or having a collective relationship with multiple people. So there's me, there's Key, which we would be what you would be considering the primary partnership.
Yep.
Because everything kind of revolves around also helping take care of Key.
Yep.
Because of some mental illnesses that we can get into later. But there is me, Key, and then our partners Alicia and Ellie. So there's the four of us. I have been involved with them for a year.
Jeez, it's been that long already?
It's been a year and change.
Wow.
Yeah, it goes by really fast.
Congratulations.
June,
What's up?
as of June, actually.
Yeah, as of June it was a year.
Yep.
So
Damn.
a year and change. And then Key and Alicia at this point have been together for 4 years.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So they are the longest part of the relationship.
Yes, we got together at the end of high school due to my relationship issues and needing somebody consistent and kind in my life. So, as you do, you settle down with a girl because, what does a girl do when bullshit happens left and right?
She goes lesbian.
She goes lesbian.
A little bit.
How'd you guys meet? You and
A mutual friend's bonfire. It was it was as simple as that. Like, McKylan. I'm pretty sure you both know McKylan. She's been around at the house once or twice. But
is she the one that were we there with that second girl out? Was that the one? The one that Dakota was like, hey, yo, what's good?
Yes, she knows knows Dakota and everything like that. Yeah. So she's been over at the house once or twice before, and we were over at her house for a bonfire one night, and then we were just kind of hanging out and talking, and the next thing you know, it just kind of clicked.
Yep.
So
Really?
we can also
That was just you and Key though, right?
Yes.
Ellie wasn't there.
Yeah, Ellie has been
at that point
my best
Ellie wasn't
friend.
even a part of the relationship.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ellie is the most recent addition.
Yeah, she was added. She was added to the relationship within the last 2-3 months.
Yeah, 3 months.
Oh.
About. Just kind of a trial. She got sick of how
Trial.
Yeah, she got kind of sick of monogamous relationships herself. So she said, "I like seeing how this is working out for you. You seem happy. We've been best friends for a long time. Why not try this?" So
Whoa, nice.
why not?
Yeah.
I mean, her and I definitely were fuck buddies as teenagers, so it wasn't that much of a stretch.
Yeah.
That also does help in the situation. Yes.
Yeah, that just took a huge fucking turn.
Well, that's the other big part of the
Yeah,
relationship is that I always get questions about is how does everything physically and sexually happen, and I'm just like, well, more collectively in a group than you would think.
Oh yeah.
So most of the time it is a matter of threesomes and shit like that and all that kind of fun jazz. But then you also have to consider the open part of the relationship as well. So not only are we polyamorous, but we are also open to talk, date, flirt with interact and get physical with other people outside of the relationship.
Yeah.
The key factor to that is communicating it with everybody else in said relationship.
Because
So-
the main aspects of, people getting jealous or uncomfortable is not knowing what's going on, as far as our relationship.
Yep.
As
All polyamorous relationships have a different set of rules. It's
Okay.
just whatever people are comfortable with and what they are open to exploring.
It's
and
just a
doing.
bigger,
Yep.
yeah, bigger
It's the-
genre
it's
of
the big-
relationships.
It's a bigger genre of relationships, so there's a lot more variety in it, I guess you could say. There's a lot more like just different options
Yeah,
that you can
yeah.
do, but it's all dependent on who's in the relationship.
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
what their ground rules are, that kind of stuff.
like, we're more worried about each other's safety with new potential partners
Yes.
rather than the level of intimacy that
It's-
you're going to achieve.
There,
with them.
the level of intimacy is going to be there regardless.
Yeah.
It's a matter of the fact of, is everybody going to be safe with the person that they're going to be intimate with,
And are we all comfortable?
and are we all comfortable with it with the person that they want to do it with? Because that's also another factor. If you want to be intimate with somebody that I'm not comfortable with, that's a discussion.
Okay.
So if it's like some guy that I've had beef with in the past and they didn't
Yeah.
know that and they're like, oh, never mind, fuck that noise. Or if you want to get to the other side of it, or if like one of our close friends that we haven't talked to with in a while, or one of our close friends that we do interact with on a normal basis, that kind of stuff. So that's just like a, hey, I kind of have these feelings for this person. I kind of want to see what happens. Be like, okay.
Okay, yeah. And I think in our last discussions for like the grill out, I think you did mention that you had a Tumblr page, or not a Tumblr, Tinder page as well, right?
Yeah. So we each both have dating apps that we have. So I actually have them on my phone because her phone doesn't have the space or capacity for it. But that way her and I just look at it together.
Oh,
from
yeah?
time to time. So
That's pretty fly, dog.
my Tinder is my Tinder. Like that's
Okay.
the Tinder I had for the last couple of years.
Yep.
I had before her and
Yep.
I got together, that kind of shit. So it's just kind of been evolving to coincide with our relationship.
Then is your profile picture to the both of you?
There are a couple of pictures of all of us. Yes, like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a couple of pictures of just me. There's a couple of pictures of me and Key. There's a couple with me, Key, and Alicia.
Okay, and then your bio is just very apparent though.
Yeah,
right?
and
To
it's
be
just like straight up, I'm in a open poly relationship. Come and join our fun little world and see if you want to do that kind of shit. Like it's very straightforward out there. Like because there's no reason to beat around the bush with it.
right?
Like, be straightforward about it and see what happens.
now it's just like you don't have personal feelings if somebody like on Tinder wise hits you up and then they feel something about it. Like I don't care. I still got 3 other girls to pay
Yeah,
attention
it's like
to.
this.
Like,
This is the reason why this is a thing, because one, it gives you the options of having different partners to be intimate with,
Okay.
which is like the biggest, most clear option and reason of why. But it's also a reason of companionship and trust.
Uh-huh.
So in the past, everybody in our relationship has dealt with lying, cheating, manipulation, abuse, that kind of shit, to multiple different levels of degree and severity. So at that point, when you just open up communication about the things that happen, it makes it a lot more comfortable and just more enjoyable for happening.
Yeah, it's also nice because it's like the deepest, darkest thoughts,
Yeah.
to actually play them out and
Yep.
just like, hey, this is what happened. And for you guys to accept that, it made you guys be like, why would I lie anymore?
Yep.
What's
There's
the
no
point?
reason for
Yeah.
it. There just isn't. It's like, hey, this is how I feel, and then they're just like, oh, cool.
That's a consistent safe space.
It is. It absolutely is. And there's never there really isn't room or any kind of judgment thrown out anywhere whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like there just isn't. There's always like, because all of us have a similar kind of way of thinking.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong. All of us are very, very different, but we also have our ways of thinking collectively as partners.
Yeah.
So especially with being together for how long we've been, so you kind of get that telepathic connection with your partner.
That feeling, that aura.
Yeah,
that you
just kind of like you can read what they're thinking.
Yeah.
In a sense, on their face, their body language, whatever. And if something is off, then it's noted and it's talked about. If it isn't, they're just kind of very nonchalant and go with the flow. And it's just usually met with hype up. Like very seldomly do we have a point where I'm on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, even like even with the OnlyFans accounts that I have, we look at them together.
Sure do.
Like,
Yo, that's so...
like if I see a model that I'm following on Instagram and she's doing whatever and it's something really sexy or something that everybody will like, I'll show everybody and they'll be like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like it's very straightforward
just
like that.
All
so
three
it's,
girls in the room chanting boobs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. It happens more times in a day than I can count.
Yep.
Now, do you do that on the other side too? If they were to like show off like a guy with like a nice body and all
So
that.
the
do you
thing
do-
is with that,
He doesn't have a problem admitting when there's.
I
attractive
don't
man
have a
on the
problem
feed,
admitting
so
that. I'm
it's-
very comfortable with my masculinity, and I can share and say that they are the reason for that. Where I have been able to open up about that more. I am not gay. I'm
Dude,
not
I
bi,
mean-
but I don't have a problem telling that another guy looks good. If girls can do it to each other, I should be allowed to as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
just like that's a handsome guy right there.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you look fucking good.
Yeah.
You dressed up. You look good. You're a handsome guy. Go get some girls, man. Go
Yeah.
do what you got to do.
Yeah, though we get motherfuckers like this, they'd be like, "Yo, that's gay."
Yeah, exactly.
Bro,
Don't call me out like that.
Nah, you do exactly
You
that.
can't tell me it's wrong.
Bro, what you want, dog? Bro, what you want? That's exactly what you would do.
Yeah, you were
But
not.
it's just hyping a guy up. That's
It
all
is.
it
It
is.
absolutely is. Because you know what? I gotta hype up the boys.
Yeah.
You gotta
Oh.
give them. They gotta get. You gotta make sure everybody knows what you're doing.
I respect it.
I mean, you do the same thing with everybody else. You like, damn, you look good. You say that to me.
You've been telling me to grow my hair out for years, and then
I've
when I eventually did, you'd be like, "Damn."
been telling them.
And we ain't
Looks
going.
good.
We ain't coming over here like, hey, Justin's gay, dog. No, we didn't do that.
Yeah, you're right.
See, this is all about the balance and the intention of it. You're not intentionally saying this to suck my dick. You know, you're intentionally saying just to give me a compliment. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna steal that shirt. That's what I was saying. I said nice shirt because I want to steal the shirt.
Oh, no.
So next episode, when you see me with the shirt on, you know where I got it from.
That's crazy though. That's really crazy because
But
I've been
it's-
very interested into the idea
Oh,
of
for
it.
sure. And like, even when I'm at work, at my job bartending and shit, I'll even like say that I have girlfriends, and then people that hear it will get intrigued, and I'll start chatting them about it and shit. And they get just kind of like,
Dude,
that's fucking cool.
The idea of you locking them into that conversation
oh,
and then
dude,
in the engagement, dude.
You can't believe the reaction some
Oh
of the
my
golfer
God.
parties that I get, because these are a bunch of golfer bros. Like, these are a bunch of like
older
like,
people.
like not even necessarily older. I
Okay.
get golfer groups that are anywhere from the ages of 20 to 60. Like, I've got like even like group members and group sizes have been that age range and difference.
They
But,
just
like,
have money.
they're
Upper
just
class,
they're just
yeah.
a slightly higher upper class or very upper higher class of people, and they're just like, I'm intrigued by what this guy's life is right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
And
yeah.
most of the golfer guys are just like, you're living a dream right now, and I'm like, yeah,
Exactly.
you're not wrong.
And they're bringing that into that aspect because like they got the money, they can get the pussy.
Well,
dog.
and the thing is, and then the big question that they asked me is, how did you manage to do that? And I was like, here's the big trick. I wasn't even the one that did it. They are the ones that brought me into this life.
Mm.
I was monogamous before all of this, but afterwards, I don't know if I'd ever want to be monogamous again,
Nice.
because there's just a sense of jealousy and
Uncertainty.
that comes with a monogamous relationship.
And for you to come out of a
Especially-
regular,
yeah,
like,
and,
of
for,
that,
and to
yeah.
express something in an entirely different way from that is just
Not everybody's gonna understand what you're thinking.
Nope,
You know what I'm saying?
at all.
Like,
And
yeah.
like there aren't enough people in the world that are very comfortable and open the way that we are. So being able to find people that are like that
It's not worth
afterwards
it.
in a monogamous relationship is just a pain in the ass.
It's not worth it. You know.
Very
like-
true.
like-
The security of a poly relationship is what's
Yep.
most.
Because
most
then when it comes down to the darker sense of the stuff, like if there's something that goes wrong in the relationship and one partner is starting to just on a downfall, start getting into a negative space, start doing things wrong, that kind of thing, you have people there to support you if you do end up
Yeah.
breaking up with that person out of the
Exactly.
relationship.
Which is one of the main reasons why it was so important for me to have Alicia through all the ups and downs and trials that we've had throughout these poly relationships. We have 2 ex-boyfriends, and neither of them could handle it as as well, but it's because there's a balance. You have to be able to accommodate multiple people's needs and wants
Yeah.
emotionally and physically.
And you mean handle it as in you and Alicia being a thing together while you're with
Just the
them, or-
relationship and the entirety of itself.
Okay.
So in this kind of relationship, a male does have to be confident in himself. He has to be okay with his masculinity. He has to be okay with the idea of other men wanting to look and be intimate with his partners.
Dude, you are that.
You are exactly that. Don't get me wrong. At the very beginning of the relationship, there was a very strong sense of jealousy.
Of course.
Like, that's just going to be there right there off the bat. But then it came to the ideal of, at the end of the day, we're coming home to each other. There is still, like, there is that. In a relationship, it's not just a physical connection. It's also emotional. It's mental. It's physical.
Yeah.
And it's spiritual. So you have to be connecting on all different forms of plane for a relationship like this to work. And just being physical is just a singular part of it. That's 1/5, 1/6 of the relationship. So, but then you have to start dividing that up into multiple different people. So when in reality, it's one. I don't even want to do the math.
So would you guys try to preach to have other people be in poly relationships?
I mean, absolutely.
If you are comfortable with it, yes. Okay. If it is something that you want to look into, then absolutely. But you need to make sure that you have an understanding.
Yeah.
There's a lot into it.
There is. You need to have the confidence and the comfort.
People who struggle with jealousy and insecurity over the little things, however, would not be able to function
they'd never be able to survive. Their mind would run rampant all of the time.
Oh, definitely.
If there were strict rules in place and it was a closed relationship, there would still be a lot of like confrontation over it.
Because there is such a thing as also closed poly relationships where they do have like careful
and Alicia and I did have it closed for a little while when we were with one of our ex-partners, and you know that was fine for a while until he realized that he couldn't keep up with both of us emotionally. He felt more tied to me and wasn't giving enough attention to others. So there needs to be
a balance. But there's also
now how do you deal with this, since you know you did say Key was your primary partner?
It comes down to an also sense of who needs the emotional and support as well. So I say that Key is my primary partner because I am not only her boyfriend, I am one of her caretakers.
Okay.
Because Key suffers with multiple different mental illnesses that are very hard and very uncommon.
Yep.
And they're just very difficult to deal with. The biggest one being, or the two biggest being the PTSD and the D.I.D, or dissociative identity disorder, also known as multiple personalities. Formerly known. Just more commonly known and aware as. But so there's that part of it too. So with our relationship, our dynamic very centers around Key of itself to help her maintain her mental health.
Yeah. Yes. And that's everybody in the poly relationship,
that is not
right?
just a me thing. That is a me, Alicia, and an Ellie thing. Like we all collectively help take care.
So
of
essentially, if you would like take one of them out, just to ask them like, so who's your primary partner? They will all say Key.
Yeah.
Oh. Because so you are the center point of this.
Yes, she is the reason that the relationship is what it is, because she wants the sense of security of having both a male and a female partner.
And another female partner.
It's mainly because she wants wants the one of each. Because female partners are a lot more on the emotional supportive side.
Okay.
Where I am kind of the exception to that because I have grown up with multiple different emotional training and bullshit, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Just a quick burp on the side there for you folks. But then there's the side of it where it's also a physical thing, because with Key's PTSD, it can cause her to have flashbacks. And if she comes out of those flashbacks, and if they're brutal enough, she will come out fighting.
Okay.
She will come out swinging. She will come out kicking. She will come out with the intent to fight off who was ever hurting her, because who was hurting her was the person in her mind. She doesn't know who I am for a minute when she flashes back to. She still sees the person.
Yeah.
But
when I snap out, I am still in full on fight or flight mode.
She's in fight or flight. So the thing is, Alicia is skinny. She's 130 pounds soaking fucking wet. Like, it's like a towel. A towel is heavier when you get it wet. So if you got her wet, she'd be 130 pounds. She's a very skinny, very petite girl.
Okay, because when you say soaking wet, I thought of a different thing.
No,
like, hold on.
Gross. So
I was like, because who describes somebody as soaking wet?
Here's the thing with Key. She's strong.
Okay.
She's got some weight that she can throw behind her punches too.
Okay.
She's a little bit of a bustier, curvy girl, and we love that about her. So she can hit hard. She's hit me hard enough to leave bruises, and when
There
she,
still
like,
is one.
there still is one on my chest. And then sometimes even her nightmares will get bad to the point where she's hitting me in her sleep.
I mean, she got big arms.
Yeah,
dude.
she
Like,
does.
it, like,
She did working out and gymnastics and stuff in the past, so she's got some muscle density.
She got some hidden muscle.
Yeah, well, yeah,
you know
she
what
got
I'm
some
saying?
hidden muscle
Yep.
up in there. It hurts. So I personally want to be the one to tank those hits.
Okay.
Because I
Tank.
know,
You're always the tank.
because I know I can take them from my previous lifting and football experience, and just with how big and beefy I am.
Uh-huh.
I'd want to be the one to tank those because nobody else could take them the way that I do. If she would
I'll
have hit,
break somebody else.
yeah, she would like Ellie and Alicia both bruise like a peach. So
They're both smaller than
Okay.
me,
They're
so
Yeah, yeah,
it's higher
So
risk.
it's a very, very high risk thing. So that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
in the beginning of the relationship, she immediately started like almost living with me and sleeping with me for that reason alone too.
Mhm.
Because then I can also help coast her out of it easier as well.
Mhm.
Because I have an understanding of what's going on.
Now, whenever you have these like flashbacks, do you remember it?
Sometimes.
And do you snap out of it to be like, okay, did that just happen again, or?
It really depends because if they're bad enough, then I'm not present, and one of my alters kind of takes a hold to kind of guide me out of it. Because if my brain and my body are in full, distress mode, it's hard for me to like shake myself out of that without the assistance of my system.
So in that case too, sometimes even the system is hard of waking her up.
Mhm.
And so we also have me that tries to snap her out of it. I, call out her name, shake her a little bit, tap her on the shoulder, that kind of stuff, and that usually helps. But the
Okay.
big one that helps is Mooney, her service dog.
Okay.
So he is trained by her for the last 4 years, and he is on point when it comes to reacting to her
Yeah.
symptoms.
Yeah,
with
he
her
really is.
flashbacks, with her blackouts, with her spacing out, with her anxiety spikes, everything. So with her blackouts and with her flashbacks, he will jump up to her and start licking her, and that is the best way to get her to wake up calmly.
You ever
For
try
her-
to lick her to wake
No.
up?
Nor would I ever want to attempt, because that would be a great way to get my nose shattered.
Yeah, probably. For being honest here.
Yeah, to be 100% truthful, and it's not
Yeah,
even
yeah,
because she
yeah.
would do that out of like spite or because I did it that way. It'd be because that would be the reaction of her snapping out
Of course,
snapping
of course.
back to reality. So with Mooney, it's a comfort thing because he's a 20-pound little dog that's just the fluffiest little cloud of fur that you could think of.
Yeah.
So he is very calming, very cooling, very relaxing to be
Yeah,
around.
he really is. Cause when I invited you guys to my apartment that one night, and I was afraid that your dog would bark because you were like, okay, we're coming over, but if you mind, we have another girl coming, and then if you don't mind, can we bring our dog? And I'm like, it's kind of late at night. I don't know, like I don't really want him to bark. And he's like, oh, he's not gonna bark. I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm gonna trust you on this. And like, no,
Yeah,
he
he's
really doesn't
silent.
bark. And he came over, he didn't bark. I'm like, what the fuck?
Silent.
And then we were all kind of like down that day, and
And
the fact that he just came through to everybody, he started like, And I'm like-
Since I got him and started training him, I not only trained him to help me, but to assist my friends and others
Hmm.
close around me.
There have
If
been
he
more
senses
days-
distress.
yeah,
He will be
There
there.
have been multiple days where I'd come back from work and just be like in a shitty mood because
Yeah.
I had a bad day. My depression, my anxiety are spiking. My days have been shit. My frustration is at a height. I feel angry. I feel
Yeah.
whatever. And he will hug me. Like I will lay down on the bed and he will press himself onto my chest and coax me back to a calmer state.
Yeah.
So he does it for everybody. And that's the thing I appreciate about him about the most is that not only does he help us with it, but he is one of the best options for Key when she is having those situations because he can bring her out calmly.
Yes. Even
That's
though I'll
crazy.
still be frightened,
She
it
will
won't
still
be a
be
violent
scared.
reaction.
She will still be like frightened. She'll still be shaking, but it will not be a violent snapback. It will be a calm, like waking up from a shitty nightmare.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is amazing. And how would you even train your dog to be like that? So what was your like preparation to be like, okay, this dog needs to suit my needs? Because most of the time for dogs in the beginning, you're gonna be like, you have to suit their needs.
Yeah. Well, when I first got him, he is a rescue, so he went through some things. I don't even know his true story.
Okay.
So I had to work on building his confidence to make him social and, just loving towards all people.
And were you diagnosed with D.I.D. at the time?
Actually, no.
Okay.
Due to the relationship with my family and how my mother would control my doctor's appointments and therapy appointments.
Her DID is technically undiagnosed
Okay.
because of the falsified information or misinformation that her mom and family would spread
Yes.
to doctors. So that is something that I am hoping to help take care
Okay.
of, because not only do I help take her to her doctor's appointments and help walk her and navigate through them, because sometimes she can stall. So I have a lot of the information that I know and need in order to help get through them.
You know more of her than her, basically. Or
It's
Sometimes.
not
like,
it's not only that, it's that
information-wise to
I
give
know
to people.
everything about her, and the informational wise
Yeah.
is strong enough to the point where I'm able to project it for her if she
Yeah,
cannot.
yeah.
So it's
'Cause
kind
there
of
are
like I am
times
her
when my
voice sometimes.
anxiety
Yeah.
will get so bad that I literally cannot speak.
Yeah, you
It's-
just kind of shut out, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the other thing is for that is that when that happens out in public, or when we're like at
Mm.
an event or like a wedding or some shit like that, like a gathering, I will try and stir the conversation to a point where she is comfortable speaking.
Mm.
Because if it is a topic of conversation that she is comfortable with, she has way easier times being out in public and being social with people, even if her social battery is like starting to deplete.
Mm. So you just kind of that energizer.
Mm-hmm. I'm just kind of I'm very much just kind of the
It's crazy,
stand by
yeah.
and help,
Because you really have to kind of like put her in place. You have to be there
It
to like, give
is.
her that energy,
Yep.
but to be there to like not give her too much.
The
You have
other
to be very
thing
careful with it.
too is that some of the altars are a little bit more social too,
Okay.
so that can help with a lot of it too. So if Key is feeling overwhelmed, she can retreat back into the system to relax, and one of her altars will come out to front in order to take care of the social situations.
Yeah.
I would say Quinny is the most social
Yep.
as long as she's not intimidated by whoever she sees. That's
Quinny,
like new.
Quinny. Is
Oh, you guys
definitely-
want to explain them, please, as well?
Absolutely. So there are quite a few. Key is the host of the system, so
Okay.
she is like the main personality and person of the body.
And we have Key right now,
yeah,
right?
we have Key
Okay.
as of right now, or Kiera is her full name.
Okay.
but Key is
A nickname.
a
Yeah,
nickname.
He's what I go by.
Kira's a beautiful name though.
Agreed.
That's a
I,
fucking that's a
Kiera.
dope ass name.
Kiera. It's a very, very pretty name.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah. I guess.
we have the first altar that ever appeared, and that's Harley.
Okay.
So as you can
Violent protector.
violent protector, and,
And
as,
these personalities, they also have gender differences too.
yes,
Or? Okay.
there is one gender difference, and that's Luke. He is the only male of the system. And he shout out to the Luke boy. So he is the only male of the system, and honestly, he is the second most recent.
Okay.
Yeah.
He developed about 4 or 5 months into us dating.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember you guys mentioned Luke
Yep.
when you guys started dating.
So he's the second most recent out of the 9, 8, 9, something like
I don't
that.
want to count them off.
I don't want to count them right now.
Do you even know all their names? Right
Oh
now?
yeah, all of
Okay,
their names.
okay,
yeah, I know all of their names. It's just sometimes you lose track of the number.
Uh-huh.
So there's Harley, who, as you can imagine, being a violent protector, is also based off of Harley Quinn.
Okay.
Because Key's best friend at the time was obsessed with her. So
Yeah, and she
that-
was my friend for about 2.5 years. So being around her and all of her Harley stuff, and her claiming that when she was going a little crazy, she'd be going Harley mode.
Okay.
It would just kind of
so
over
as
time.
as you can imagine, with some of her other altars, they do take on personas of
Mm.
other people in her life. It
Yes,
doesn't matter
other
if
people
they're
or fictional
fictional
characters,
characters,
Yeah.
real people, cartoons, that kind of stuff.
So what kind of Japanese person is named Luke? That one really got me. You guys like, this guy's name's Luke. He's Japanese. I'm like, the fuck?
You're looking at him.
No, he
Luke's
wasn't
Japanese,
no,
right?
No, he wasn't Japanese.
Okay,
he
who was
he was taking place after an actor in one of her favorite shows, Julie and the Phantom,
yeah.
Okay.
because his name.
You
is-
said he was Japanese.
No.
You Chinese. You're not Japanese.
Don't look at me. I ain't pointing it back at me. I think somebody mentioned that like
Vietnamese.
Luke's like race was Japanese. or
I'm gonna
something
say
like
that would be some fuck shit Dakota would say because he's different.
Dakota, you fucking motherfucker. Yeah.
I'm just gonna
she-
out him right now. I'm gonna say it was him.
But hold on. We're gonna actually take our first break, and we'll be back with you in a bit. All right, cool. This podcast is brought to you by Tints LLC, listeners to the BeeHole Podcast. With my experience of listening through podcasts like these, I'm usually driving my car. And let me guess, you're doing the same thing. Research shows that 38% of US adults listen to podcasts while driving their car. But there's also a percentage of you that laugh and smile throughout segments while showing off your beautiful face to the car next to you. In your head, you're probably thinking, oh, does this person think I'm crazy or insane? Yes. Yes is the answer. If you want to listen to this podcast driving your car without having to be scared of the car next to you, I recommend getting your windows tinted by Tints LLC. Tints LLC is an automotive window tinting service with over 6+ years of experience with 5-star ratings and reviews. So, if you're located in Dane County, Wisconsin, or if you're not afraid to travel, Tints LLC offers services that provide you the best and pristine quality of tint applied to your windows. Now, for my lovely BeeHole bandits, if you head to Tints LLC's Facebook page, dial 608-217-5773, or visit their building located 4102 Lien Road, Suite D, Madison, Wisconsin, and set up an appointment. For a limited time, use code BeeHole Podcast to receive $40 off your next window tint service. You heard me, $40 off. Again, call them today at 608-217-5773 or visit their Facebook page and use code BeeHole Podcast to get $40 off your next window tint service and get that car looking more beautiful today. Code is eligible for any window tint service offered.
Always COVID.
And we're back. So if you want to continue on explaining these multiple personalities.
Yep. So there is Harley, and then after that there was, I think, Quinny and Kiwi were the next ones to come out. This is where we start getting into the littles area of things.
Littles?
Littles. So with Kiwi and Quinny, they are alters that are like personas.
Okay.
Yes, Leah is another, but she was the newest addition.
Yes,
So-
Leah is another little as well, but she was the newest addition to the
Okay.
system. And she was what I nicknamed the blank slate child. Because unlike Kiwi or Quinny, she does not hold any of the trauma or past PTSD trauma that Key has suffered through.
Really?
Because that is what Kiwi and Quinny's jobs basically are, is that they are the trauma buffers.
Okay. Wow,
So
really?
they help hold on to a lot of that bullshit and have a more censored and childlike way of handling it.
Okay.
Because, when you're a child and dealing with traumatic events, whatever degree they are, you have a desensitization to it because you really don't have a full understanding of what's going on. That's what they do.
Okay.
And that's another part of being the caretaker, is that with that I am a kind of father figure or daddy in a sense, because I do help take care of them, and it's not in a weird sexual way. It's literally
I know.
way. Like it is a sense of protector and protection. So I help deal with that kind of stuff too. If they want to take a bath, if they want to sip out of a baby bottle, if they need me to feed them, if they want to just cuddle up and watch videos together, if they need to be tucked into bed and stuff like that. Like it's literally like taking care of a kid.
Yeah.
But it is a identity and a persona, because that is just the way her brain decided to cope with and deal with the trauma.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest reasons that the littles definitely cling to men rather than women is because a lot of the traumas that I was experiencing young had to do with my bio dad and my stepdad. There's always been, that inner child part of me that craved having a male role model in my life that wasn't going to be abusive or cruel in any way.
It was the search of having a protective male role model in her life, and she never had that until me.
Okay.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, there are a few other partners in the past that did have that in a sense, but a lot of the time, unfortunately, it was a false sense of security.
There was one ex-partner that did really well for a while taking care of the littles, and then it turned abusive when they couldn't tolerate the behaviors that were coming out, because the littles as they are kids, they like to, pick on you. They like to poke fun.
They like to nitpick. They like to pull hair. They like to tickle. They like to poke at you.
Bite. They like to pull hair. Whatever. And
little idiosyncrasies like that past partners just couldn't deal with or have the patience for.
Yeah, definitely.
There was one partner that actually scared the living shit out of Kiwi and Quinny because he decided to choke us out against a wall for tugging his hair.
Damn.
Yeah.
And like,
that was the partner before. That was the male partner before I was involved.
So being the main host of your body, right? Do you like see it through a window? Like, do you see their vision through a window?
Some days, yes. But depending on how bad the time is, I will black out chunks of time. Like, there are some instances that I will be there. I'll be, conscious in the back, seeing what's going on, seeing it play out.
Shotgunning.
Yes.
Oh.
But there were instances like back when I was working with a lot of dogs, and I would have to break up dog fights. There was one time where a pit mix latched onto my arm, and I blacked out. I didn't get my memories back from that day until I'd say about like 4 months later, when Harley let me see what actually happened. She didn't want me to see that she had to kick the dog to get them off of me.
Yeah.
Because I hate that. I hate having to, hurt animals. I don't like having to.
Is not a big thing in our house.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like, it's a major trigger. So it scared me. And though I wanted to handle that situation, she came out to handle it so I wouldn't get hurt any further.
Okay.
Because by that point, I had already fallen. I had already smashed my arm. I had already hit my head a couple times. So she needed to take over.
That it's not like all of her memories are back yet either. No. Because we still experience lapses where she is unlocking new memories because her alters have deemed her strong enough and ready to know what happened for real.
Yeah.
Back in past relationships or past bullshit with her mom, with her dad, bio dad, stepdad,
stuff
mom.
And that's a lot of fucking time to
there's a
back.
lot of time deprivation in there. So there's a lot of dissociation and there's a lot of like putting the puzzle pieces together. Mm-hmm. So it's that's one of the primary reasons we're trying to get back into therapy and psychology with her, with a psychiatrist, in order to help get that.
Yeah, because that's insane to think, because you guys only been together for what, like a year, right? A year or so.
Yeah.
And you still have like, how old are you again?
I'm 20.
20. You got like 19 years left to go of like relapsing memories, and maybe even more personalities. No,
there's definitely more personalities.
Yeah.
They're like Leah is the most recent one that made herself known, and that was 5-6 months ago, maybe more. It was before we moved into my new place. It was before we moved into our new apartment, and that's approaching up on 3 months. And I want to say that was about 4 months ago, living in the old place.
So shit, you've been there for 3 months already?
Yeah.
Dude, it felt like yesterday you guys just moved in.
And it's weird because it's coming together day by day and piece by piece. So it's just looking better every day.
Yeah, our art center doesn't look like a wreck.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a tornado went through our art section. So
it's the one that's in front of the door and all.
Right in front when you walk in. Yeah. But like it's that big of a time deprivation. So not only am I learning new things about her, she's learning new things about her. And that's the weird part.
Does that make you feel more comfortable, the fact that you guys are learning it together?
Yes. I can, like, for me it's different because it's trying to figure out pieces of a puzzle that we didn't know that was there, and that's basically what my brain is like, is always figuring out puzzle patterns and figuring out the way that something works. Even like in everyday life, it's just how it works. And for her, I can only imagine it gives her a sense of security because...
For many reasons, because when I'm getting these new memories back, I'm terrified each time. They're not pleasant memories. So it's nice to have somebody around who's actually going to, work through it with me and not just get up and leave and let me work it out myself.
That's amazing.
I've been there, and it's hell.
That's amazing.
Fuck that noise.
Yeah. Now, I have a question for you, Daniel.
Sure.
And I've known you for a while. I know you longer than Key, and he's known you longer than me. But knowing you from high school, well, essentially from middle school, but like high school, we got a little bit closer and all that.
Yep.
I've always kind of pictured you as not an impatient person. So
you wouldn't be wrong.
Yeah. So I
wouldn't be wrong.
I pictured you as an impatient person, right? And it's not to like
So-
throw shade, but the fact that you was an impatient person to become a really patient person for this person, what clicked? What switched?
The protective instinct of myself.
God damn.
It not only did it start just flourishing, but it also made me more patient to begin with. But it also, being in the relationship with Key, she has pointed out a lot of idiosyncrasies about myself that point to a lot of different things, and that put a lot of shit together for me to start realizing how I need to handle it. So she pointed out that I have a lot of common shit that I do that links to various different forms of ADHD, which I've never been diagnosed with.
Yeah.
But then
I got the diagnosis in middle school, so I've been able to see it in
From other people.
Clinical depression and anxiety, sure. I was diagnosed with that when I was like 8-9 years old. That's been a thing in my life since I was very, very little because it genetically runs in my family. I could see it in my dad when I was a kid, and I see it in all of my family members now. And the thing is that my brother and I both acts like my dad's. His anxiety came out as frustration, anger, irritation, just straight up angry and rage sometimes, and it sucks, and I fucking hate it.
And most of the time, it's just based off confusion, though, right? Like not knowing what the problem is.
It's not even based off of confusion. It's just based off of a short temperament of not wanting to deal with dumb shit. So, my biggest one is like, I have the phenomenon in my life where nothing I ever put down wants to stay there for a long period of time. So when I have my short days, when I'm short-tempered, angry, frustrated, I'll put something down and it won't stay there. Like, I will put my phone down on what I think is a flat surface, and the next thing you know, it'll tip right off. I'll do the same thing again and move it and adjust it, and it'll fall off again. I'll pick it up and I'll slam it down on the table. It's like, fucking stay there. And then it stays there.
Yeah, you used to do a lot of that.
Oh, yeah, and I still do, but now it's after multiple times. It's not immediately doing it once it happens. It's fuck this.
Yo.
So it's steps, it's baby steps, you know?
Yeah.
But then there's the bigger picture of it where I can't bring my shit home from work. They don't deserve that. I need to be able to have a way of dealing with that so they can't. So that helps me correct myself. But it also helps me realize that there are things that still need to be corrected.
Yeah. Like if you have stress at work, you'll tell them, but you're not going to use that energy against them.
I'm not going to make it their fault. I'm not going to make it their problem. I'm going to tell them about it. They're going to give me feedback about it, and it's going to help me realize what I need to do.
Yeah. That's good, man.
So
usually on those stressful days, you tell me before you're even headed home, and I just meet you at the door or in our room with a big old hug. Just it
is a point of self-realization and self-correction that I needed to work on because I didn't have anything in my life that I needed to do that for. Now that I have that, it makes me realize, oh shit, I need to fix this.
That's amazing, man. Dude, I remember one day that we were all chilling at your mom's place.
Oh, yeah.
We were all just chilling, and then just randomly, you just went out into the porch and you just started thinking.
Yep.
And we were all in the living room, and I just came out there and sat by you. I'm like, "What's going on, dude?" He's like, "I just can't. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find somebody to deal with me. All this anger." And I think I don't know if you did, but I think you started crying. And then
I probably teared up a little bit.
Yeah, and I was like right there next to your side, like, "Hey, man, you can't give up."
That was probably after the whole Abby situation.
Yeah.
So that made me downgrade for a little while and just kind of fuck about. I was big man salute Dan at that time. And everybody goes through that phase. I'm not even ashamed to admit it. But it led to the point where I am at now today, and it made me realize that I need the self-correction and I need to be able to work on stuff whilst being able to help them and not project it.
Yeah. Because it's a pinnacle point in your life to realize that whatever you're feeling at the time, there's a bigger hope. There's a bigger future for that, and you gain more hope from that.
I think another big part of it too was my work environment.
Yes, I believe that was a big case. Yeah.
I was always for a minute there I was struggling to find a job that I actually enjoyed doing and that I could actually see myself doing for an elongated period of time. And for a while I just didn't have that. I was short on income working at Old Wisconsin because I just wasn't getting the hours I needed to make a sustainable life. like that was weekly checks of maybe $300 if I was fucking lucky.
Yeah.
And
that was around the time that I was telling you that, your stress, your anger every day was becoming more apparent, and I was feeling it as you were coming up the stairs. You weren't even in the house yet.
Like you could literally feel the angry aura around me. It was like Goku going Super Saiyan. It was just bad. Like you could just feel it projecting off of me the moment I was in the area. But now I come home and it's just radiation of positivity because I enjoy my job. Yeah. Like being a bartender and in the hospitality area that I am, I interact with a lot of cool people and I'm making money while I'm doing it. So it's two birds with one stone because I'm doing something not only that I love and enjoy and I get to progressively get better at, but I get to make money while doing it at a sustainable rate.
And engage with people and have relationships.
And engage with people too, because as much as I say it, I do like...
You don't like people?
I don't like people,
but you are a people person.
I am a people person, if that makes sense.
Yes.
It's a very hardcore oxymoron within myself, but I know how to be personable and I know how to connect with people on a personal level. It's not hard because I've just learned how to read the body language and find the common ground of anything we can talk about. Yeah. So it makes it easy to do what I do, and especially with the clientele and the people that I have to deal with because they are like a higher up kind of clientele. So I'm not dealing with drunken assholes trying to fight or terrible people trying to cause sexual assaults, refugees, this kind of shit. I'm dealing with a higher class of people that know their limits, there for a good time, and know how to enjoy it without being stupid.
And they're all about representation too. They can't,
because a lot of what I'm dealing with is also a lot of business parties and business propositions and stuff too. So there's also that side of it as well. It is a higher class in like higher rate of partying, just in a way that makes
it's another sense. Light. You see another light, basically.
You see an entirely new light of this side of the world. So it just kind of opens your eyes a little bit. And you're like, oh, this is the stuff that I like.
Yeah. Because the people don't really piss you off.
They don't. And like, don't get me wrong. You're still going to get those few people that are out of the box, obnoxious, kind of stupid, do get rowdy or overly ambitious or aggressive, and we do have security for that. My older brother, who works at the other bar or one of the other bars there, does it on the regular for people that either fall asleep in a booth or do get rowdy and try and do stuff that they shouldn't be doing. So it happens, but not nearly to the degree in other places.
That's great to hear, man.
Oh yeah, it's a solid spot, and it's also a fantastic place for a lot of growth and opportunity too. Yeah. Like if I climbed high enough in that hospitality role, I could very well end up working in Scotland. Like they have a resort in Scotland called St. Andrews, and I was like, dude, send me to Scotland. I'll be a fucking hospitality representative out there.
If you go there, you have to come back with a Scotland or Scottish accent.
Oh, absolutely, and all of the Scotch in the world.
Yeah.
Would you wear a kilt?
Only every day I could. If I could wear a kilt to work, I fucking would, dude.
Yeah. It's very impressive to see the amount of growth that you've gained.
It surprises myself. Yeah, and
it humbles yourself too.
It does. Be like, absolutely
because you did it. It was you.
It was me.
Nobody.
Like, don't get me wrong. I had the support and I had people on my sidelines and stuff in order to give me that support and the kick in the ass that I needed. But a lot of it was just looking down and getting shit done.
Because let me tell you straight up, like. Him and I, we had a bunch of differences. We would play video games together, and we would always butt heads because a certain thing wouldn't go our way. And we both take it super personal, to where I believe he took it super personal. When he took it personal, I took it personal, and I'm like, I can't deal with this anymore. To where there's like, our friendship was at the brink of ending.
Yeah, there was one or two times.
One or a few times, but at the end of the day, we got it settled, and we both messaged each other personally, and just be like, hey man,
just got shit figured out.
I'm telling you, bro, brothers fight.
Yep. They do.
It's not gonna be the end of it, and there's been moments to where I've been told to end the relationship with you, but for me to think about that, I'm like, I just can't.
Nope.
I just can't do it.
And at this point, I'm happy it didn't happen because there's just so much that's changed in everybody's lives here, and it's definitely been for the better for a lot of us.
Yeah,
I think it brought you guys closer together.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely,
absolutely.
Because it really used to be the moments to where like Dan would join the party and the whole energy just shifted, and I would be super toxic. Like I was aware that I was toxic, and then I would intentionally be toxic towards Dan to get a reaction out of him.
Yep.
Now it's just like Dan invites me to this place, no hesitation, I'll go.
Yeah.
You know, because we bring off that energy of like we leveled up.
Yep.
From who we are. It's not just because he was wrong. It's because I was wrong as well. We both kind of, fought it out.
It's the realization of both fucking up and just fixing the problem in of itself.
Yeah.
But that's the maturity level in both of you guys. So it's self-awareness.
And it's crazy to see that because I still remember the days that I would be like, I'm bringing Toxic Luke out. You don't want to fucking fuck with Toxic Luke. And he never did. And I'm like,
that's kind of the thing that's happened with me recently, too, is that there's been some shit in my life that's, let's see, reawoken an evil part of me.
Mm-hmm.
But with the way that I myself have been maturing and getting better with my own stuff, it's easier to control. And that's scary. Like, back in high school, I was the kind of person where if you needed someone's reputation or life just fucked up because they were terrible people, I would do it.
Yeah. You know, straight up you.
And
dog.
like, I did it to a lot of people, and I'm going to say this. Some people deserved it. Some people didn't. To the people that deserved it, fuck yourself. To the people that didn't deserve it, I'm sorry.
At the end of the day, because you were just a no hesitation ride or die.
Yeah, for the most
exactly
part. Like with my inner group, if someone was doing some bullshit, I would be the one to just put an end to it because I didn't want it happening anymore. I was just done with whatever the fuck was happening. And I was like, it's either this. You either stop with the bullshit, make up, and either be friends or part from each other and not give a fuck, or I do this and your life is over.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Make your decision.
This was the same fucking dude that a serious situation happened with me and another partner before I met, my current partner and all that. To where I messaged him that she was going through some stuff at a party and there were some other males involved. And I messaged him in the middle of the night to be like, I had to go, her friends had to go pick me up and I had to go over there and kind of control the whole situation. We go to her house and I'm just chilling. I message him in the middle of the night. Him and Devon are already out. Message him in the middle of the night and he goes, he goes like, okay, when do you need me? Comes through, picks me up. And he goes, okay, so do we got to go back to the party and beat that guy up or what's
I was like,
up?
do I have to go hurt somebody or what's
and
the
I'm like,
situation
no,
here?
just don't do that. He's like, no, I will fucking
I was
fuck
like,
this guy up.
I will fight some people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a person to stand idly by while fuck shit happens in the world and just watch it happen. I will make a note of it and I will make people hurt about it.
Yeah.
Because I am not a person that believes that karma's gonna handle it. Don't get me wrong, karma can handle it.
Yeah.
But if karma's gonna put me into your path, bitch, karma put me to handle it.
Yeah.
So I will be karma's motherfucking handler and delivery system if I need to. I will be the executioner of karma's evil. I don't give a fuck. Karma goes both ways. Do good, get good things to happen in your life.
Yeah.
Do bad, some fuck shit's gonna happen, or I'm gonna happen. So
a lot of the people nowadays, they don't really expect to get hit.
they don't.
Yeah.
They absolutely
So
don't.
their ego's all the way up to be doing whatever the fuck they want.
I feel like that's a very big thing in the world nowadays, where people are more than comfortable with talking shit because they don't think anything or any consequence is going to happen to them. I'm going to be the one to prove that wrong nowadays.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that I talk to and hang out with are going to be the exact same way.
Uh-huh.
Well, you gotta think about it too. Most of the people that talk smack are doing it behind screens.
Absolutely.
So it's not a face-to-face conversation.
Or they're doing it behind the back and everybody's hearing it from the grapevine. So it doesn't happen face to face. So that way, because people are scared of face-to-face confrontation.
Too many people are just getting away with it.
They are, and I'm gonna be the one to help try and break that stigma and fuck that noise up because that's not right.
Because in a sense, it's not right. But
It's
in a
not.
sense, you're also helping them to be like, hey, you are not invincible.
No, you're not invincible.
Yeah.
You're not at all, and I know that.
Yeah.
Like, if I get hurt in a situation, so be it. But I'm gonna do something about it regardless.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a matter of am I gonna get hurt. It's gonna be a matter of is this right or is this wrong, and do I need to step in?
Yeah, and it proves a point.
It does.
Either if you win or lose, it proves a point to be like, well, you were still talking shit, even though you did win the fight. Somebody did beat
It
your
only
ass.
takes one person to step up to start doing shit like that for everybody else to realize it. And it goes to a lot bigger degree than just one-on-one petty differences.
Yeah.
That can get political.
Yeah.
Like, as much as you want it to get in any degree.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's crazy. That's impressive, dude. That's insane. Like I said, the amount of growth that has changed through this whole
It's
life
got to
that we
happen,
had
otherwise
together,
this world
man.
eats you up and spits you out. So
Yeah.
you got to learn how to change and adapt.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I'd be dead.
That was one of the pinnacle points to where I just didn't want to. I couldn't really think about being friends with you anymore. Is the fact that you didn't want to change. And I'm just like, I'm trying to change, you know, within the times that we just kind of had shit with each other. I'm like, I'm trying to change, but he's trying not to. And I believe I poured myself to help you, to be like, he doesn't appreciate me, and it's not fucking worth it anymore, you know? And
I've had that with people before too, but then I've had it where they have made the realization of, oh shit, now that they're not helping me anymore, I really am just garbage and need to fix that. And I was like, well, time to do some shit that I need to do.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't even know.
And it's true. And sometimes it's also just a lack of opportunity too, because there were just some places where I dug myself into holes. But then my brother was starting to work where we're at now, and he was like, yo, come here and do something about it. And I said, you know what? Done. And I did. I took that chance. I took that opportunity. I had never bartended before. I had never known what the craft was. I had never been in a higher elegant location where I am now. I've never, I catch myself now speaking the way that I do when I'm at work, and I'm like, fuck, I didn't sound like anything like this 9 months ago. And I was like, I was such a fucking douche tool when I started at the job. When I was like, my grammar, my etiquette, my everything was terrible. My drinks weren't that great. And I'm just looking at myself now, and I'm like, I get told I'm one of the best bartenders here, and I'm just like, fuck.
There you go.
Yeah, I definitely remember the first few weeks when you were working there. You came home every day like, I need to stop talking so casually.
I need to stop being
really
so
bad.
casual. Stop being so laid back.
Yeah.
Upgrade your etiquette a little bit there, fuck boy. And it just
Yeah, damn.
it takes some time because it is a different
Setting.
It is. It's an entirely different setting, especially from where I live and grew up to where I'm working. It is only a 15-minute drive difference, but the comparison of Kohler to Sheboygan is just ridiculous. It is just a higher class of people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially when you start learning about the history of Kohler, it makes you feel inadequate.
I don't deserve to be here, bro.
It's just like, shit, dude. I'm a middle class scum. What the fuck am I doing working here right now?
And they think I'm one of them.
They think I'm a classy person. I'm like, fuck. And I was like, I get home and do bong rips, and I'm just like, shit.
Yo.
I was like, dude, I'm serving you a drink right now, talking to you about how your fucking stocks are making you a millionaire, and I'm sitting over here, and I just bought a $30 bottle of bourbon like I'm big shit. And I'm just like, fuck.
Damn.
No, Kohler is worldwide, though.
It is. It's a worldwide organization. And, when you shake the hand of David Kohler himself, you kind of realize what the fuck you're about. So
At the end of the day, though, he's just a person.
He is. He absolutely is. And I can say this with confidence. Very, very kind, humble man.
That's good. Though.
For being a gentleman that runs the business that he does and being in charge of everything that he is, with the just the huge amount of everything he has to control. He's a very kind man. He is very humble. He knows that if he didn't have the people that do what they do on a day-to-day basis, he wouldn't have shit there. You can just tell that he has that kind of mentality from meeting and talking to him for the 5 minutes that I got to meet him.
He understands.
Yeah, he absolutely does. But he also understands that there are shit that happens, and he knows that you got to do what you got to do in order to make things work for yourself. Yeah. So he's a good dude, and his wife is the same way.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of those.
You do not, really especially for a dude that is like a CEO of a company that large, because as Justin stated, they're worldwide. They're international.
Yeah.
I have international branches of that company in different sides of the businesses that show up where I work for conferences and meetings and things, of talking about deals and business of things I couldn't even remotely comprehend. I'm a bartender. I just make people drinks. Be a therapist and shit.
Yeah. I'm here to listen.
Yeah.
I'm also here to make you drinks.
And I was
dog.
like, I'm just here to take your money and get you alcohol.
It's,
Like,
it's
that's
a
what I
nice
do.
vibe though.
It
you know,
is.
you're bringing it to like a bar.
And,
You're like,
like-
hey man, like I'm literally a person that listen to you and make you drinks. You're the
Yep.
one that came to me. So
And I've had a couple people like that. They're like, you are probably one of the most insightful 23-year-olds I've ever met. And I'm like, thanks. I've been through trauma. And I was like, I've dealt with this, and this. And I was like, so
Yeah.
life fucked me up. But that's why I'm
you're a much happier
the
man
way
now,
I
you
am
know?
now.
Yeah. Because I think it's a nice light to bring up to be like, you know, the people that has been dealt with the most can be the happiest people because of what they know and what can transpire from going through the hardest to get to where they are now to be happier. You know, it's not gonna happen right away.
No, absolutely not. And it's sucky and shitty to deal with the amount of things that
Yes.
I myself and
Yes.
that Key dealt with
Yes.
at both a very young age.
Yes.
But it has made us conscious to the bullshit of the world nowadays,
Yep.
and it helps us help other people get through it
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
And hopefully even lessen the impact of the shit that they went through because of the things that we can help pass on from the shit that we've dealt with.
Yeah.
Because her and I come from two very different ends of the spectrum when it comes to dealing with hardcore life events and trauma.
Yeah.
I myself dealt with a lot of death throughout my life from
Yeah.
both family, friends, animals, whatever you could think of. And she dealt with
Abuse of all forms.
abusive of all different forms,
Mm.
be it physical, emotional, or manipulative. Like, it just didn't matter. Don't get me wrong, I have dealt with some of those things as well, but not nearly to the degree.
Yeah.
But that's vice versa. So I've dealt with, in high school alone, for the 4 years that you go through high school, I dealt with 12 dozen and a half funerals, something like that.
Yep.
So that looming feeling of death over your shoulder has just kind of been there all the time. And I kind of relate to the Harry Potter quote that Harry and or whoever else greets death as an old friend.
Mm.
So I'm sure one day I'm going to be the same way. I
Mm.
don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but I guess we'll find out whenever
Yeah.
that day comes. But that will be for a lot of years,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right. We're gonna take another break and we'll be back with you shortly. This podcast is sponsored by NuNu's NickNacks. Knick-knack, paddywhack, buy some things for your sack. And when I say sack, I mean sack full of the good stuff. And when I say good stuff, I mean your belongings. And when I say belongings, forget it. You know what I'm trying to say. Ladies and gentlemen that listen to this podcast and hearing my beautiful voice, do you have an eye for an aesthetically pleasing ornament? Wanting to add some amazing handcrafted decorations onto your keychains or onto your table? Then look no further than to order from NuNu's NickNacks. They specialize in custom handmade resin craft that will transform your space into a work of art. NuNu's NickNacks is a resin shop that just recently opened and would love to supply you with some custom resin items to fit your aesthetic needs. From vibing coasters to stunning jewelry, NuNu's NickNacks has something for everyone. Don't settle for average, let them bring a touch of magic to your home. Look guys, I recently just bought a custom lettered keychain and it's never going to leave my side. It's so aesthetically pleasing to see and it gives me good energy. You can feel that too by heading to their Instagram page, NuNu's NickNacks. That's NUNUS_NICKNACKS, or visit the links below. Again, that's NUNUS_NICKNACKS, or visit the links below. Never lack on a knick-knack this shop attract and purchase a custom resin item today. Okay, and we're back. There you go. Okay, so anyways, so there's, like I said, there was like you guys said, there's other two, Elisa and Ellie.
Alicia, yeah.
Alicia, I just forgot about it. Fuck. It's an H. It's an H. Okay.
Yeah, Alicia and Ellie.
That's your mom coming out.
That's my mom coming. Elisa. But okay,
Gotta throw
so
a twang in.
now how did you meet Alicia?
Well, we actually met in 8th grade when I transferred schools, so we were friends off and on for like a year and a half, and then we had a falling out due to my best friend.
Oh.
Tasty.
Yeah, my friend kind of just took advantage of all of my time and no longer invited Alicia to hang out with us. So,
oof.
Yeah, we kind of just fell out that way.
Oh.
However, after therapy and after I got out of an abusive relationship, I reconnected with Alicia, who was living right next to my sister's house at the time.
Oh.
So we were able to hang out on the regular, and then it just kind of developed from there.
Now, were you guys just friends first and then
Yeah.
girlfriends next?
Yeah.
So
it really only took about like 3 weeks before we jumped into dating, honestly.
now, how did you like know to be like, okay, I want to date this girl?
Well, I mean, her and I had a flirtation off and on in
Okay.
high school, but it wasn't like too much. We were only in like art classes together. So art and dance was the only time I'd ever see her. And
Which, to be honest, are two of your most expressive forms of bullshit nowadays.
yeah.
Like, every single day, you guys are always doing artsy-crafty stuff or dancing around or doing something, so...
They do, because we went to go grill out and they were doing artsy stuff. I'm like,
oh,
what
yeah,
the
they're always
fuck?
calling, drawing, and doing resin pours and clay work.
At
and
least
all
all we
this kind
do
of
is
stuff.
shit.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Shit.
At least you know your house is gonna be decorated.
It's true.
Exactly, dude.
I don't think I have a blank wall in my house right now.
You guys don't need to hire painters. They are the
I don't
painters,
need to
dog.
buy anything either. I just
Yeah.
have to get the art supplies for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, Alicia and I pretty much were just flirty off and on through high school, and then when we reconnected, we both expressed that our relationships weren't really,
The best?
As
Yeah.
in relationships with
Yeah,
another.
prior.
Okay.
yeah, we just kind of discussed and we're like, you know what? None of this has been working, and we've always been good around each other and hanging out. We've had this flirty thing going on, so why not? And
Dope.
now it's 4 years later.
Yeah.
so-
Damn, nice. And how did the story go as for you introducing it to Daniel to be like, just to let you know, I'm also dating another person, but it.
Well,
He was kind of just straightforward with it, honestly. I think I knew about it before we started dating.
Yeah.
yeah, because of him being friends with McKylan,
Yep.
and so had I.
I've known
You wanna move the microphone closer.
I've known McKylan for a lot of years. For a couple of different reasons. One, she was only slightly younger than me. But my older brother and her mom were really good friends.
Okay.
So whenever I was hanging out with my brother and he would be hanging out with them, it was like friends by association
Okay,
at that point, and then
okay.
it just kind of clicked because of how many similarities that we had, and it just developed into a friendship. And then when McKylan and her boyfriend moved into their new place, they did it during either spring or early summer one year, and then that summer they would have bonfires all the time. They'd have like 1-2 of them a week because Cameron had a shit tons of firewood that they wanted to get rid of. So I was just always ending up at a fireplace or at a bonfire because I had nothing else going on after work or whatever.
Yeah.
So whenever I just go over there one night, and then that particular night, I ran into her by herself.
However, when we met, I actually was not fronting.
No,
Hmm.
Kiwi was.
Yes.
Okay.
The
Kiwi
youngest-
is super comfortable with McKylan.
She is the youngest
so,
of the littles.
Okay.
So all three of the littles do age slide
Mhm.
in a sense.
Okay.
So they
have a range.
They have an age range of which they will go. Kiwi has the youngest range. She'll go anywhere from 2 to 6.
Yeah.
And then Quinny's is a little bit higher. Hers is like from 3 to like 8, 9.
Yeah.
There's very, very few times she'll slide into like the preteen ages.
Yeah.
But she likes staying more in that kid range and stuff.
Mhm.
The only time that she does is if she is pretending to be me.
Yep.
Because that's another thing about having alters is if they feel that they need to, resume a conversation with somebody because they stepped in and you were uncomfortable, there was a trigger, they need to keep acting like you so that nobody suspects anything.
Yeah.
95% of the time, one of the littles is shotgunning when we're out in public.
Yes.
Is it also a fear of being judged?
No.
No,
Okay.
not really.
Okay.
It's more or less just because I have so many different triggers and I'm not always like paying attention and like being wary of them. So they'll come up, and then if my anxiety shoots up too high, then somebody else will front to try to take care of the situation.
Because I only say that because it would be an assumption to say that for them to portray as somebody else so they don't be judged on, to be like, okay, I don't want to be known as a weird.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about being judged. It was more well, because of my experiences in childhood and like my parents not believing me when stuff was going wrong, I had to hide my symptoms of everything. My anxiety, my depression, anything.
I don't have a problem with people judging it, because people judging it are ignorant to the situation and do not have the knowledge of it. Yeah. I have a problem with people being assholes and saying that it doesn't exist. Because I'm going to look at you and I will pull up on my phone half a dozen different papers, researches, symptoms,
proof, evidence, like
anything I can find to tell you how fucking wrong you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is the thing that will irritate me.
Yeah.
When people are judgmental, they are just ignorant to the situation and don't have the proper information.
Yeah.
And I will do what I can in order to change their mind and give them a different perspective and outlook. But other than that, if you start being mean about it, it's a problem.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because essentially, like, you know...
We might be having a switch right now.
Oh, boy.
Honey, you okay?
Okay, I'm going to be switching the battery, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Yeah. To be warned, when you come back and when we get back, there is a very good chance that there will be a different personality and alter fronting. So
okay.
I'm pretty sure Queenie is trying to come out right now.
All right. This podcast is sponsored by NuNu Original. Hello, my BeeHole Podcast listeners. Are you in the Sheboygan County and wanting to up your vintage and streetwear game? Are you tired of looking around thrift stores and trying to find some sick-looking retro tees? Well, I got the page for you. NuNu Original is a Sheboygan-based vintage brand that provides unique and nostalgic retro pieces from the 80s to 2000s, connecting you with pieces you resonate with affordable prices. They offer local meetups and online shopping through Depop and eBay. They're great with communication and offer fast and amazing services. Look, you guys, I've been hitting this page up for a while now, and I've purchased so many of my clothes from them with great customer satisfaction. And I love how reasonable the prices are. If you follow the link in the description, or go to your Instagram search bar right now and search NuNu Original, that's 920 RIGINAL, that's 920 RIGINAL on Depop, eBay, and Instagram, and tell them your boy sent you. Thank you.
And we're back.
Yeah, he actually did it for me.
Beautiful, Dan.
Wish my clothes.
So as I warned you before,
and we're back.
As I warned you before our little break here, we did have Key switch out on her personality. Key is in the system, and now Quinny is fronting.
I heard my name.
There you go.
Okay.
So she got intrigued because she heard her name when she was shotgunning, in a sense.
Well,
Kind of. She was just kind of hanging out, and then she heard her name and got intrigued and wanted to come out and say hi.
Viv was watching the door. She almost didn't let me say hi.
That makes sense. Viv is, or Vivian, is another one of the alters. She is kind of a system control, in a sense. She helps.
Gatekeeper.
She's a gatekeeper. She helps manage some of the littles, and by some I mean all of the littles, but also primarily Harley.
Okay.
So she kind of helps control who's allowed to front, in a sense.
Oh.
So she's kind of the gatekeeper in saying, yes, you can go, or give them the freedom to do whatever, or if they're acting out, they need to come back and relax, or if Harley's trying to act out because she's getting triggered by something going on and trying to break out, Viv is there to help.
There's a bunch of things that can make us come out.
Yeah.
There's good triggers and bad triggers. There's the ones that make Key upset, and then there's the ones that make us happy, that make us want to come out and say hi and hang out.
Oh.
Yep.
This is very interesting because it's actually see the whole transition.
There's a lot
I never saw that.
Oh, so. Yeah. There's a whole transitional thing to it. So there are full switches. What Quinny just did. So that's fully fronting and taking control and being there. And then there are quick switches, which are between 2 or 3 people that are all collectively paying attention to what's going on. So that's usually with Kiwi and Quinny shotgunning, and is what we like to call it, because they can do a quick switch in to chime in about what's going on, and then they'll switch out or they'll stay there. So and then whoever switched out that was previously fronting and then shotgunned out, they'll go back into a shotgunning position and just kind of hang out for the same reason.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
So.
And just a double take. You don't mind if this is like just posted on the YouTube, right? Just the whole transition, because
we wanted to. We had talked about this beforehand because we did kind of want to do it in a session like this where we wanted to try and get awareness out there and details and kind of give our perspective on it, because everybody's perspective on it and everybody's different diagnosis is different. So everybody's system is different. Everybody
just needs a moment to fucking listen.
Everybody just needs to be able to have correct and frontal knowledge and firsthand experience knowledge for that matter as well. Because not only is Key and all of her system allowed to give what she personally experiences, I can give what I experience as a firsthand witness to it as well. Yeah.
Because not gonna lie, low-key kind of scared me.
It is. It can get a little intimidating. That happens out in public and people don't realize what's going on. They don't know what's happening, so they'll immediately try to intervene and not know what to do. Which we've had with both positive, neutral, and negative effect.
Yeah.
So there have been times where we were out at a bonfire, a gathering, someone's birthday party, a graduation, whatever the fuck you want to think about, and she would switch out, where we would all be in an enclosed circle of a bunch of people, and she would switch out because Quinny or Viv wanted to come out and talk about something or something like that. And then they'll be confused about what's happening, and I'm there to kind of help explain it. But then there's also the scary one, which is a negative effect, where it can cause Harley to lash out, and it makes me have to get physical with her.
Okay.
Not
like
in a
when
point.
Harley tries to jump out of the car by asshole's house.
Yes, exactly. So there are previous people that have done some terrible things that Harley wants a piece of, where she would do what she would want to do in order to cause bodily harm to other people, which I can't let happen, obviously. So there was one time we were out and about shopping, and I quite literally had to bind Harley and pick her up and carry her out of the store because she saw someone that looked like somebody that caused her problem or caused her traumas and wanted to react to it.
It just triggered something.
It's just an immediate reaction. So there was no gatekeeper at the time, or Harley was just that determined of being able to do something about it that she just slipped out that easily.
Oh.
She's strong. There's a big trigger. She is
the strongest reactionary of the alters. Like if there's something that happens, she won't have any problems breaking a barrier or even breaking, because he has also physical issues. Harley has access to in a sense, has full capability of all of Key's strength. She doesn't care about restriction.
Okay.
Like with me, where if I'm hitting something, I'm going to pull back on a punch. Harley doesn't do that. She doesn't hold back when it comes to being physically violent. She just goes full force, because if she does something that causes bodily harm, she can just recede into the system and not have to deal with it and make whoever else deal with it.
Yeah.
It's not her problem anymore because she doesn't care. She cares as long as that Key is protected and that they're not dead. Because if that happens, then Carly goes away too.
Yeah.
That's basically Harley's thinking. That's her thought process. But there have been times where her reactionary point has been strong enough to where I've literally had to like hold her down and pin her to the ground because Harley's trying to reach for something to use as a weapon and then charge after a person, or hop out of the car to go towards somebody's house that we're near because we're driving in that area or something like that. But then there are also just like the neutral stuff that happens where it's a blackout because her anxiety spiked too hard and she just couldn't handle it and she blacked out for a minute, or her heart rate spiked and she feels really dizzy and blacked out. That's me there to help not only catch her and make sure she's going to be safe, but also to explain to people, back up, Everybody's get away. I've got it handled. I'm her boyfriend. I'm her caretaker. Piss off.
Yeah.
It's none of your concern. Don't worry about it.
And then you get those fucking guys that be like, no, you don't understand. They'll be like, no, we have to control the situation. Like, no, like, you really
don't.
need to.
If you try to do this, I'm going to be the one that you have to deal with.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to be way scarier than her.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's the big thing that I'm doing now, too, is because we are starting to get to the point where she needs mobility aid when we're out and about.
Yes.
And one of her biggest concerns was people giving her...
ableist nonsense.
Yes. Giving her a bunch of bullshit about it. She's
fucking problems.
Yeah, more fucking problems. And the first of it was like using scooters around Walmart and shit like that, like the automatic ones that they have. You always see random assholes fucking about with them. This is not that case. She's using it because if she doesn't, then when we get home, she crashes for 3 hours.
Damn.
Like a 45-minute shopping trip can cause her entire body to just want to shut down because she's not used to it anymore.
Okay.
Her body is in a safe spot, in a safe position, where her body is now catching up on trauma from her past. So
we're sore all the time.
So it's like a reminder, or just it's a trigger. It's
a delayed reaction from all of her trauma.
Yeah,
but 16 years worth.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of time for everything to catch up. So it helps not only get her out and about and moving, but it also helps her do it comfortably to a point where it doesn't make her crash when we get comfortable back at home.
Because it's balance. It's just that level of just understanding.
So she was worried about people giving her side eyes, people giving us trouble about it. And I was like, hun, you're with me and whoever else that went with the shopping trip, they'll be my problem. And I was like, if people want to give you shit because they're saying that you don't deserve to be in it because you don't look disabled, that's fucked up and they can deal with me. I will be cordial about it. Be like, she has POTS. She has this condition that causes her heart rate to spike really hard sometimes, or her dizziness to get out of control and black out or flashback or faint or whatever you want to call it. She needs this in order to move around properly. If they want to continue to give me problems about it, that's when I get mean.
Yeah.
Luckily, we haven't had to get to that problem yet, so it's not an issue.
And people still give.
Oh yeah, we've never had any direct face-to-face confrontation or anything, but no, people give looks.
Yeah.
I don't care about it.
Yeah.
Give me your looks. You don't know anything.
You don't. Yeah.
So
you just don't.
You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
It's the moment you try to make it your problem that becomes an issue.
Yeah.
So that's when I start becoming more of the protective meanie about it than anything. But luckily, we haven't had to have that happen yet.
That's good, man.
So hopefully, we'll keep that streak.
Yeah.
I think it just comes back to, like you said, like other people using it for the wrong reasons. And
it absolutely does.
People being uneducated
it's
about
it. It's that whole thing going back to school. Someone fucked up, and now everybody has to pay for it.
Yeah.
So it's very much like that. But when you understand the situation and the circumstance, then it makes sense, and you're just like, okay, I'm being a prick. I'm gonna fuck off now.
And it's all of this, the idea of thinking that they're invincible.
Yep.
To assume these ideas that this is not a normal situation.
Oh,
to
cool!
Think it's a weirder situation.
I can step into this situation and not deal with consequence wrong.
Even the people giving side eyes,
because I'm not going to be a person to let you slide without consequence.
Yeah.
Because it's just not going to happen anymore. Because in this kind of situation, it's either you're going to deal with consequence and learn that you fucked up, or you're not going to deal with consequence and you're not going to learn anything.
Yeah.
And when it comes to situations that are delicate as this in mental health, I don't take lightly.
Yeah,
it can be a mental health situation where it's depression and anxiety, or it can be a mental health situation where it's something like Keys, where it's D.I.D or schizophrenia.
Yeah,
it all falls underneath the same boat. Just be kind.
Yeah, definitely.
That's all I have to say. Just take the time to not be ignorant to people's situation, even if you understand the most broadest of details that they have for their situation, or as much detail as they want to give you. They're probably not lying about it when it comes to this shit.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There are some people out there that do lie about it, or that try and use it to their advantage.
That's why Viv doesn't want to start an account anymore. She almost wanted to do an account to educate people, but then she saw how many people were faking D.I.D and other things on like TikTok and stuff, and how much like it feels like
falsify
there's no
information.
point because we're just gonna get hit up with the you're another fake queen.
There's always the people that
clout.
Yeah,
Clout
it's
chasing.
the clout chase. It really is, and it's just people.
And it's just making fun of the disease itself.
Yeah.
You know?
It
It's
is.
pretty
It's
bad.
just it's oh cool. Look, it's this fucked up thing that I can make fun of because it's not my problem.
But
Yeah.
it
No.
makes us genuinely sick when we
Yeah.
see people doing that. So like,
So
Just
it, like
what's the
with
point?
things like that where it's on the internet, it's harder to take control of and it's harder to
Yeah,
make people
definitely.
pay for. When it happens in public or when it happens
That's
face
where-
to face, that's where I can do something
Yeah.
about it. And that's where like, and the thing is that if that happens, I hope to God someone records it.
Yeah.
I hope the fuck it does because I'm gonna look at that person and say, this was what the situation is. This is why this person got hurt by me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna let people just cut it off right after I fucked somebody up.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna give a reason why it is. I don't go looking for a fight.
Yeah.
But I'm always prepared in order to fight for the people that I care about and the people that I care for or the things that I stand for.
Yeah.
At that point, you have to because then you don't stand for anything.
The people that started say they don't, but they really are.
Just don't
Yeah.
go looking for trouble where
Yeah,
there doesn't need to
exactly.
be trouble. Just,
Exactly.
That's all I have to say
Yeah.
is just roll with the punches, and if you will look and understand a situation, you will have a better understanding of
Yeah,
how to
yeah.
help and how to understand of what to do.
Yeah.
So
And also, like, I had to catch myself too because I don't know if you guys are just like a little bit sensitive. I don't know, but sensitive on this word. I don't know if you're sensitive to the word disease. I mean, I don't know if you consider it a disease or illness. I had to apologize
it's a
for that.
mental health thing.
Okay,
that's
so,
what I consider it. It's a mental health and trauma coping.
D.I.D. is just even more complex PTSD.
Mm.
It's from repeated
Yeah.
childhood trauma.
Yep,
Yes,
that makes
and that's what a lot of it is, and they're only like I've read a few other things about it or seen other things about it too, and every single person that you meet that has D.I.D. is completely different in their symptoms.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can't tell one or two of them apart.
Yeah.
The only consistent thing between people with systems is time lapses.
Yes.
Hmm.
Time
Losing
lapses
track
and
of time
and-
and
and-
having locked up memory.
Yep.
Yeah. That makes sense.
locked up memories and time dilation.
Right.
Like those are the two big things that are the most common amongst DID
Oh.
patients and things like that. So those are the only things that you will see in common. But the way that they cope, the way that their system handles, the way that their system works in a general way, it's all different.
Yeah.
So it's hard to keep everything diversified or
Yeah.
or in an not diversified in a collective.
Yeah.
Because every situation is different.
Okay, let me quickly just. Okay, so you wanted to say something?
So this
Don't go too close.
and we're back.
I said don't go too close, but you go close.
No, here to,
That's a good distance.
here today.
There you go. There you go.
And we're back. Here today, I am learning a lot of like things I've never like wrapped my head around or even tried to learn about because I didn't have to. You know what I mean?
Right.
But having this conversation, it has put me in a different like sense of like
It gives you a different perspective.
clarity. I almost like really just started thinking about it because usually when I'm in the store and someone's doing their own shit or they're fucking off, I just keep it pushing. I mean, I'm not minding you. If you're not messing with me, I'm just gonna keep going about my thing and I'm leaving you alone. If you're causing a scene that has nothing to do with me, hey, you cause that scene, go ahead. But to learn like about people's like mental illnesses and all this, like, it's good. I'm glad I've had this conversation.
Yeah. It ain't no game, dog.
And I do think that she does start her TikTok because anything you do on social or videos or anything, you're always gonna have haters, no matter what.
Oh, for sure.
But
It's
even
just the fake clamors that make it more difficult.
Yeah.
even to like change that one person's life, like me, like to have this like hour conversation, and to like completely change the way I think about things. Like I'm one person that you change. Like think about other people like that are unaware of this because they never had to go through it. That you can like change their
the thing is that
perspective.
it changed me too.
Yeah.
Because before the relationship, I didn't have I knew about DID. I knew what some of it was. I didn't have anywhere near the knowledge or have the impact in my life that it does now. Because it's my everyday life. Like I'm literally helping and living with somebody that has it, and I'm there to help them deal with it and help them manage it and things like that. So it really puts a weight on my shoulders to help spread the awareness about it as well, because I myself also help deal with it. So it's kind of my job to help spread the awareness about it and information about it too, because people can be so ignorant to it.
Yeah, I've never heard about it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's crazy
before this.
to be enlightened by it. But anyways, that's gonna be the end of our podcast. My camera's dying. Follow us on all our social medias. Do you guys do you guys want your social medias plugged?
Yeah,
Natty.
plug my social media. I don't give a fuck.
I got you guys in the description.
Yeah, I'm just, find my name on socials if you want to talk to me about bullshits.
Yeah, and we're here to spread the awareness of D.I.D. and all that.
Absolutely, and be kind in the world.
Yeah.
You don't know what people are going through. You don't know what people's stories are.
Yep.
Humor them
Yep.
and see what they have. They might have a more interesting story than you ever thought, and they might become one of your new favorite people.
Yep.
So show love, be kind, don't be a twat.
There you go. And it's all based around love. The fact that you have all this love between this woman over here and the other two that you guys have to keep that relationship close. Is
Oh yeah,
amazing,
and let me just add the fact that just because our relationship is centered around Key does not mean that we neglect each other in that sense. There is still so much love spread between all of us, like in multiple different ways. Some of us help keep clean with the house more. Some of us help more tend to the animals. Some of us are more financially inclined. And they're just, if someone can't take care of something, someone else picks it up.
Yep.
And that's the way the dynamic of our relationship works. I never really mentioned that before, but that's kind of the way it is. If one person can't handle it at that time, somebody else takes care of it, and then it's just carried on to the next and the next.
Yep. We'll have more episodes, definitely. But
One
anyway,
love.
we're going to end it off.
Don't be a hoe. Be a BeeHole. And thank you. Gracias. Thank you in Chinese. I don't know how you say that. For
I'm not
tuning in.
Chinese.
He's Asian.
A Hmong. What?
He's a Hmong.
No.
He is a Hmong.
How you say thank you in Hmong?
Dude, I'm so pissed at you that I can't think.
He's putting
I
him
can't
on the
think
spot.
right
And
now.
he can't think of it.
Ocho. There you go.
Who? Hi.
Ocho.
Ocho?
Ocho.
Watch out.
Ocho.
Where do you put the 8? Where'd you bring the 8?
I'm trying to do that.
He's putting a Mexican twang on it.
Trying to do
for
that
you.
Hmong twang. You know
Ocho.
what I mean? Ocho.
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 Oh, you got me fucking it up now. All right, that's gonna be the end of our podcast. Thank you. Turn on our post notifications. That way you can get updated every time we upload. And we'll see you on the
Follow
next
me at the BeeHole Podcast on YouTube. Don't be a hoe. Be a BeeHole. And Ocho.
episode. Okay.
Have a good one, everybody.